Morning.
Thank you for agreeing to this.
Well, thank you.
And can you start off just telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm Mark Robinson. I farmed most of my life, and then last while in my spare time, I've done some artwork. So
Some artwork.
yeah,
Is that what you call it?
yeah, it's well, spent a lot of my time in the outdoors and doing things, and well, when you're working on the farm, you're in the outdoors, but you're not in, the wilderness or anything. So it's kind of limited for time a lot of times to get away. So this was a way of kind of feeling like you're back into that.
Mm-hmm. And are you self-taught or did you actually take art classes?
Mostly self-taught, but a friend of mine, I haven't taken any classes, but a friend of mine got me painting actually, and he did kind of give me the basics from his perspective, and so we still compare work and critique each other a little bit, and so he's kind of helped me along the way, I guess, most of it.
Because most of your work is nature, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I've painted a few farm pictures, but I don't know. I guess I'm always on the farm, so
Right.
the nature was kind of a way to get away from it, type thing.
Mm-hmm. And do you have a studio you paint in, or do you ever paint out in nature?
No, I've always painted inside.
Yeah.
I guess it's a studio. It's a section of a room, and I have a drafting table. I paint on a drafting table. And it takes me quite a long time, so I just wouldn't be able to do it out in the open, I don't think.
Right. What's the medium that you like to paint in?
Acrylic. Pretty near all of them have been on canvas, but a few on birch plywood, but mostly on canvases.
Okay, I'm looking at one here. It's a deer. We'll show that a bit later. Is that on a board?
No, that's on canvas.
Oh, that's on canvas.
Yeah.
But that frame is...
Yeah, I made a few frames. And the frames look good on some of them. Actually, they're just 2x4s that I trimmed and routed and stained, and so it didn't cost anything, and sometimes it adds to the picture. They don't look best on all of them, but sometimes. But I haven't made very many. I'd rather spend time painting, I guess. But
absolutely.
But still, it's just like anything else. You're creating things, so.
No, that one really suits that painting because it's in the woods, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you find inspires you then in terms of a subject?
Well, years ago, when my wife and I were canoeing and traveling and doing stuff, I started trying to capture the places that we were at with photography. So for years, I took a lot of pictures, and I think they gradually got a little better, but again, photography is all about light, and so I guess when I started painting, it was trying to capture that same feeling of the moment, the light. And actually, it's easier than photography, I think, because photography, you got to be there right at the very right time, whether it's real early in the morning or a certain day, just whenever the light's right, where when you're painting, you can just sit down and create it over a period of time, and if you don't like it, you can cover it up and do it again, or
make the
change
lighting
it.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can even make it the way you want it, maybe not even the way you saw it. You can change things. So it's easier than photography. Real good photographers have to spend a lot of time, I think, and be lucky.
Yeah. Be there at the moment.
Yeah.
This one over your left shoulder.
Yeah.
Where is that?
That's the rock at Bonacle on Madoc Lake.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, we were up there one morning and it had just snowed. And So there's probably a million pictures of barnacle rock, but
I don't know. They're all different, though, aren't they?
yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's interpretation is slightly different, but that perfect symmetry of the reflection is just beautiful in that.
I never actually got there very much in the summertime because I'm farming. So most of the time I got there is in the winter. So there was scenes like that. And then I did another picture that was, the lake was froze over and all snow. And it was a longer section.
Mm-hmm.
But so winter's beautiful too. Most people see it in the summertime, but winter's beautiful too.
Right. So you're balancing both these things. Painting, which seems to be, did it become a passion for you or a love, or was it something that you just sort of developed into?
Well, it definitely is now. When I started, actually, the friend I said, we always talked, and we talked like, if they do it enough, can get better at it. Mm-hmm. And so I just did it out of curiosity at first, and after a while, you just have to keep doing it. So at first, it was just to show some friends and stuff, and then they had friends that wanted to buy some, and so otherwise, you just have a big pile of paintings, and
yeah,
I'm not sure where you'd store them all, but
yeah, that does get to be a bit of a problem, but
yeah.
But it sounds like farming is a full-time thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, or seasonal, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you find you paint more in the winter, in the off-season for farming?
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I milked cows for quite a while, and I didn't really have time for anything then because it was 7 days a week, and I was involved with some other stuff and a few sports and things, so we just worked. That was all you did. We decided when we got married that on Sundays, if I could get away, that was our day to go do something. So we go canoeing or something in the summer, or in the winter we'd take off as soon as I got cows milked in the morning and go skiing or snowshoeing somewhere.
Nice.
So I'd start at 3:30 in the morning and milk and get the cows done. If everything went good, we'd jump in the car and maybe drive up to Algonquin Park and snowshoe till we run out of time, and then turn around and race back, and then milk the cows at night. But after we got rid of the dairy cattle close to 20 years ago now, and then I had beef cattle, and it was still lots of work, but I got rid of the beef cows a couple years ago, so I have significantly more time now, but still busy. But
Do you have animals now?
no, just a cat, my mother's cat. I feed the cat every day, so.
And dogs, you said.
Oh, we have a dog,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So now that you're a bit freed up from that,
Yeah,
do you spend more time painting or in other pursuits?
a little more.
Yeah.
A little more. Well, we've got lots of hobbies that we do too.
Mm-hmm. Like?
Well, canoeing, but that's where I get my inspiration to some of the ideas. And it used to be when we were going, I'd be thinking about how to take a picture there when the light's right or whatever. And now when you think about how you can paint it, so.
So when you're canoeing, then are you looking for inspiration, or you just see something that you think, that would
Not
be
all the time, but most of the time,
Yeah.
things jump out at you. And one friend said in the summer it's kind of boring. It's just all green. Well, there's like 100 shades of green there, so I think it's great. But
yeah. Do you take a camera with you?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I don't worry quite as much about fancy equipment or anything anymore, just to capture the scene.
Get the
correctly.
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it back.
Yeah.
Because like you say, then you can adjust whatever, but you've got the...
Yeah, I used to have probably 25 pounds of gear or whatever. Now we just have a small, so when you're going across portages or whatever, it's a little nicer than it was. My wife always cursed camera box, but because I carried the canoe and she carried a lot of other stuff. So
Right. Can you tell us about the one behind you with the swans? Where was that?
Well, actually, one morning I was filling the manure spreader with manure for the cows, and I was just swung around with the tractor and looking out, and I heard them, and I just looked, and they flew kind of right over top of me. And obviously, it wasn't those trees.
Right.
So I thought, well, that'd make it beautiful. I didn't have my camera or anything with me, but the image was in my mind, the two swans. So I just made up the background and then put the two swans in it. But they're a big, magnificent bird, and you just hear their wings, even with the tractor running. You can hear them honking and the whoosh of their wings. And
yeah, majestic.
so I saw the swans, but those weren't the trees that were there.
Okay.
But I was spreading manure.
But you get that image in your mind then, and you're able to just transpose it, or how does that work for you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
If you see enough every day, you just. Sometimes I've got a lot of pictures of different things. Sometimes animals aren't in the position you want, so you can go on the internet and find out whether you want a leg a little bit. Because if things aren't in the right proportion, then they don't. They just don't look right. But
did you grow up drawing or anything?
when I was little, I drew quite a bit, I think.
Okay.
But I did after I went to I didn't take art high school or anything like that. But yeah, drew a lot when I was little.
So I was going to say, not just anyone can perfectly proportion something like that, and make it look like a real bird.
Well, actually, what I do, so I don't make a mistake on there, I draw them on paper. So I might have to draw it 10 times and erase, and then when I get it the way I like it, I cut it out and then trace it on the canvas.
Okay.
And that way, and then, you've got the outline anyways.
Right.
And then the rest of the animal, you can just keep painting at it until things look the way you want them. So, because I have a couple times tried to paint something and it was a disaster. So I have to stay within the lines. So
What's the story to this one?
Well, this is a canoe I built, and actually the picture I took, I was canoeing. It was Thanksgiving weekend up in Algonquin Park. My dog and I had gone for 3 nights, just the two of us, and we were going in this little pond, and a dragonfly landed on there, and I actually got a picture of it, but its wings weren't quite right, and actually I think it was probably sitting up here, but so I just wanted to paint it. So this is a cedar strip canoe I built.
Okay, so that was another hobby.
Yeah.
That's a big hobby, building a cedar strip canoe.
I built 3 of them, actually. I built a tandem one for 2 people, and then I built 2 soles, one for each of my wife and I. And they're big projects. It's actually cheaper to buy them, but not the same thing.
In your spare time.
Yeah.
Right?
Actually, I was milking cows back then too, so I was pretty busy. But
how does that? Yeah, I was just thinking that pleasure that is derived from making something with your own hands and seeing it. What is your inner experience like when you're creating?
I don't know. It's just, well, even farming, you're constantly creating things to make your work a little easier. Or a lot of times there's a purpose. Art isn't necessarily a purpose other than the joy of looking at it. And for me, I think with the painting, it kind of brings me back to that moment while I'm doing it. The feeling of the light or the smell of the pine trees, and then creating it. The work that I like the best is what turns out the way I kind of thought of what I wanted before I started it. They don't all turn out like that. Might not be what someone else likes the most, but I have kind of an idea before I start. And most of the time, the ones I like the best are the ones that I guess you accomplished what you wanted to do at the start instead of just whatever happened to appear on the canvas, I guess.
Yeah, like you said earlier, you can always
Yeah.
paint over them or rework them. Is that, if it doesn't turn out quite like you had in your mind, do you ever find that you're pleased anyway with the way it turned out?
Some of them, as long as
like a little surprise.
Yeah, as long as it's a pleasing surprise.
Yeah, not like a whoops.
If it doesn't, like I say, you just cover it up and yeah. The cheapest thing is the paint and the canvas compared to your time, I guess, because sometimes you put a lot of time into it. But
yeah. And tell me about, you said when you were starting out, someone actually bought one. Tell me about that first sale.
It was some friends actually. They came to the house and they just wanted to look at them, and turned out they were going to a friend's birthday party, I think, and they wanted to buy the one painting. And I said, "Well, you can have it." No. Well, yeah, you can have it. And it's, "Oh, no, we're paying for it." So they picked the price and paid me for it. So I think that was the first one that sold. No, again, I'd given a bunch away and I would have gave them the painting, but they didn't want to pay for it. Otherwise, they said it wouldn't be from them for their friend, it would be from me. So,
yeah.
So that was to justify paying for it, I guess.
Right. And did that kind of get you thinking maybe I should be trying to sell some of these, or?
Probably, but I wasn't really trying anyways. I was just painting them. Another friend got me to go in the Madoc Art Festival, or art show, I guess it was called. And I was hesitant, but I did. And actually I sold a bunch of paintings there for the first time. And then it kind of made me realize, well, and actually one of the guys that was a director there said, people need to have the joy of seeing, something that's worth seeing. So you're not being fair to people if you don't give them that opportunity. So whatever.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to think about it, isn't it? When it's so much yours.
Yeah.
And then you begin to put it out there. Were you nervous for your first show?
Yeah. Again, it was in July, I think. So I was busy haying, and so I had to take the time, and then it was hot weather, and I don't mind working in the heat, but I don't like sitting around in it. But it was good, and there was a lot of people, and so it was nice visiting with people and talking about stuff, and you realize people actually appreciated what you were doing. So yeah, and I did that 3 or 4 years, and then we had COVID, and that kind of ended it. I don't think it's been the same since then, but
yeah. You probably haven't taught before.
Taught painting?
Yeah.
No.
But someone helped you. If someone saw your work and said, "I'd like this guy to teach me," what would you have to offer to someone else?
Well, I never thought about it. I'd have to see, but mostly it's kind of a solitary therapy almost for me. Like a few times I've been asked to go paint in a group, and not to be antisocial or anything, but it's a solitary, relaxing therapy thing for me most of the time. But I'm not sure about teaching. I haven't thought about it.
Yeah, maybe not teaching, but just passing on your experience of being inspired and how.
Yeah. Again, I don't know.
How that may translate to someone else.
I don't know what I'm doing, how it compares to what normally would be taught in an art class or anything. I just do it. So the one thing I do is I kind of start in the background and work ahead in layers, kind of like Photoshop from photography. So I don't know if that's what everybody does. I don't know, but
I don't know what everybody does either. But I think some of the things you've said just about, just paint for yourself. Like,
yeah,
unless someone wants to be a commercial painter and paint, the same scene 59 times. But I think that would be really wonderful for someone just looking to get started is don't worry about, a final beautiful product.
Yeah.
Do what pleases you. That's what I've heard you're doing for yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I always feel like you put something on the canvas, if you think that's what you want is there, well, that's the way it should be. As long as you like it, that's what it's all about. For me, anyway, that's what I'm doing for is the therapy of just creating something. And sometimes it brings me back to that moment that I was there and I'm almost feeling the trees and the wind and the sun and the smells. And photography was similar. But like I said, it's harder to get you can make it up in painting, but you had to be there just at the right moment for photography. But
do you ever have like a down time where you're just not inspired to go in and put the brush to canvas?
Probably. Most of the time it would just be because my mind is on something else, and so you got to be able to concentrate on what you're doing. But sometimes if you got things you need to de-stress about, painting's good too. So I usually try and paint a little bit every day.
Oh, okay.
Usually. I usually cook supper, so lots of times I'm painting while supper's cooking, or especially when I was busy all day long, I just had a few minutes and I'd be, paint for 15 minutes while I'm cooking supper. And
that's like perfect multitasking.
Yeah. Not always is it that though. Sometimes I just put some music on and paint for a couple hours, or listen to a program or something, and either a program or music, and then just paint that.
Okay, so you mentioned the word therapy a couple times. How is it therapeutic for you?
Well, there's lots of stresses in life, and when you sit down and start painting, you just kind of forget about them all, I think. Like I said, listening to music or a program, lots of times there's a program on science or something that I'll listen to, and I'll have it running, and then I'll realize after an hour I never heard a word they were saying because you're just involved in what you're doing. So you go and listen to it again sometime. But so you get into it and forget about everything else that's good, bad, or whatever else in life, I think.
Yeah, it's absorbing.
Yeah.
Okay, so a question about, you were a farmer, you have a farm, you still are a farmer. Do you ever paint farms?
Well, I have some, and I probably will more in the future, but I'm right there every day, so it isn't quite as a special moment, I guess. You take a lot of things for granted, I think. Yeah. We have friends that come to the farm, they're all excited about something. Well, I see it every day, so I guess you take things like that for granted. But I did paint some of cows and some barns. We painted some barns and pictures around the farm. But
do you have any cow paintings left? Or have you sold them all?
A couple of older ones.
I love cow paintings.
It's all right. I have a couple of older ones.
Okay. How did you feel for that fellow who said, people need to see your work?
Well, he was an older guy. I'm not even sure if he's still alive, but he just told me that. And I think from what I know, I think he has a big art collection and spent a lot of money on art, but he just said, when something looks good, people need to see it. So he said you'd be wouldn't be right to not show people. He wasn't just referring to me, he was referring
Right.
to anybody that does some work that somebody could appreciate, then it needs to be seen. But I think some of the stuff that he had collected, he's probably got locked away somewhere. So
Yeah. Maybe.
preserving it, investments, I guess, I don't. But
Yeah, but it's another way to think about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you do it for yourself, but then that idea of putting it out into the world, because it should be out in the world. Does that feel like pressure or like an invitation or?
not really, I haven't really thought about it, but
Yeah.
if somebody doesn't like it, well, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's any art is very subjective,
Yeah,
you know. So that whole idea of critiquing art is kind of interesting to me because
yeah.
how can you do that really?
Well, I mentioned about my friend and I critiquing each other's is more about the light or something like that, how you might have, well, try not to tell each other what we should have done, but what you could have done.
Mm-hmm.
So next time you might think of it, or even if you want to change what you've done. And my wife, I always try to get her to critique it, but she's not a very good critic, so. She just, it's all praise, not critique, so. It's good to have
She's
some.
probably happy to see you happy creating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Keeps you out of her hair too.
yes. And cooking supper.
Yeah.
So I hopefully be able to do this till whenever.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so too, for your sake and for ours. Because I think your work should be shared. Well, any
Well, thank you.
artist. Yeah.